Добрый день, уважаемые телезрители! С вами я, Анастасия Жманкова, и сегодня у нас в гостях талантливый молодой дизайнер, участник Pacific Fashion Week 2014, Элиас Гуррола. Hello, Elias.
Hello.
So, firstly, I would like to ask you, where are you from, how old are you, some certain questions that our audience would need to know.
I'm actually from Miami, Florida in the United States, and I'm 25 years old right now.
Okay, so you still study at Parsons University or finished?
I actually just finished for fashion BFA.
And so, as I already knew, you have a job, you got a job already.
Yes.
Where are you working actually?
So I'm actually working for a swimwear company that does swimwear for 3 labels. So they do Jones New York, Red Carter, and also Jessica Simpson. So we design for all 3.
Okay, thank you. So, as you know that USA and Russia have some certain difficult relations now, and some people have certain stereotypes about Russia. What is your own attitude to Russia and Russian people?
Well, I think before, it's easy to get caught up in news articles and like media, but I think they also have you understand pretty early on that a lot of the news is representing almost negative because it gets more viewers. So it's very difficult to take the news for face value. I came pretty open to the idea. Like, once I got the offer, I was really excited. Of course, who doesn't want to show their collection in another country and get to travel is very exciting. But I wasn't sure, so it wasn't until I got here that I understood that people are very pleasant. Everybody was so welcoming. And I remember there was an after party the other day, and one of the girls was like, "What do you think about Russians?" And I was like, "Well, you guys are all so nice." And she's like, "Yes, people in America don't think we smile, but of course we smile."
Yes.
So it was good. I mean, now it's amazing. I can't say that I had an opinion before because I wasn't exactly sure, but now it's really positive.
So somebody invited you to this Pacific Fashion Week, right, to bring your collection. So have you participated in other fashion weeks?
I did one actually. There was a collection that I did of both men and women, and I presented in New York. It was actually part of Brooklyn Specific Fashion Week, so I showed the collection there. And then after that, I did another venture with a friend. So there was collections that I was starting and trying to get my footing in for, but this was actually now my second. So.
Okay, and you brought your collection, which is called Persephone. Could you tell us what is the main idea of your collection?
Yeah. So the whole story behind it is a Greek story, and it's based on Persephone, who is the personification of all foliage on Earth. So there's a story where Hades comes and steals her into hell, and everything above ground freezes. And what I wanted to look at was the kind of character that she had and how it must have developed being underground while everything above freezes and dies. I think it's like being somewhere that dark, it's like your personality becomes dark and you become a little bit more sinister. So the collection moves from dark to light, and it's kind of the representation of her being underground as she moves kind of back into spring and she's kind of free again. And throughout the collection you see different shapes and motifs. So like there's one skirt that looks like an upside down tulip, and it's almost like a tulip in death. And then there's other shapes where you can kind of see like representations of like mountainscapes and other florals and things that you see organic throughout nature. I was also using fabrics like organzas and silk tools, and those keep their shape really well, and I wanted to be very sculptural with this collection. So.
That's pretty cool. And you were one of the judges on the day of young designers. So did you like, what collection did you like more?
The names, it was yesterday, and there was 12 collections, so some of the names I'm not sure of, but there was a collection, there was 2 collections at the very beginning that I thought were great. There was really refined editing and really interesting shapes that were happening. There was a collection that was all in black, and there was one of the models who walked forward and her dress was really simple and it was quite a classic silhouette. And then she turns and then there was like a drape in the back where it was just in the back, and I was like, it's like pieces like that are what women want to wear. It's like something that isn't too flashy, but you turn around and there's still a surprise. And then there was another collection that had both men and women's that incorporated prints and very graphic seam lines. And I remember he used very like muted dark colors like plum, a little bit of green, and even like a terracotta. And I thought his also was very sculptural, very beautiful, very simple, without losing its fun attitude. And then there was a collection at towards the very end for the young designers, and I believe it was North African inspired. There was prints that were used in a couple of very subtle places, but the cuts and the designs for that were very smart. I remember there being a trouser that had an opening in the knee, so whenever she walked, you could see it open. And then one of the designers actually pointed out to me, who was next to me, she was like, there was one dress that had like felting right into the fabric. It moved from felting right into nothing, and I was like, those kind of techniques are, one, really difficult, but two, also admirable to other designers. It's like you can tell craftsmanship and intelligence within the design, and those are the kind of things I think we all appreciate.
Oh, of course, yeah. So, in this case, do you think a fashion industry in Vladivostok will have a future?
Oh yes. I mean, as of now, it's very new and it's very. It's happening. Now it's its second season, right, for Fashion Week. But you can already kind of see some of the talent that's rising just locally. I think it's only a matter of time before more and more people kind of recognize what's happening. And I think I've said it before actually, where what's really great about a city who has a newly developing fashion scene is that you can pretty much make it whatever you want, especially now that it's beginning and it's growing. And from what I've already seen, it's like there is a certain amount of editing and a certain amount of sophistication that I can already see in the designs that already transcend any small fashion week. And there were collections that I saw yesterday that I could easily see in Paris. So, yeah, for sure, there's a future.
Okay. So how do you think when you create a new collection, what is the most important thing? Is the new maybe tendencies in fashion or actually inspiration? For you, what is more important, inspiration or the tendencies?
I think, so in a commercial setting, the trends are something that you definitely need to pay attention to, or you tend to pay attention to, because you don't want to do something that's already been done for the last couple seasons, because you know that that trend is going to die and that it won't sell. And you're always looking kind of for the new big thing. There's actually an agency who specifically looks up for trends, and what they'll do is they'll see what's been happening throughout the seasons. They'll also take a look on the streets and see what people are wearing now, and then colors that they think will come up. I think it's WGSN. They're a trend spotting company. And that's always something that you should be aware of. That's always something that you should pay attention to. But I think in terms of like being a designer and understanding what's going to come next, you also have to set the wave, and you have to be brave enough to be true to your own design. So I mean, I think for me, inspiration always comes first. Because how can you lose? It's like there's that special moment right at the beginning where you see something for the first time, and you're just like, you can see it in your head. You're like, yes, that's going to be the next thing, or that's going to be what people want, or that's what I want to explore. There's been so many times I've been on the train just like daydreaming off, and I'll have a little book, a little sketchbook that I keep with me all the time, and it's like I think people see me sometimes because I'll do this, and they're like, and then right away I'm drawing in my
inspiration.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say anything is more important than that, especially to a designer.
What would you advise for those people who can't find their inspiration? How can they look for it?
Well, I mean, for me, it usually comes organically. It's sometimes from nature. So a lot of the times, like in the summertime, I'll spend my time outside in the park with some friends, and things always come. It's like you'll see shapes in the leaves, or you'll see like textures in the bark, or like even just the feel of the grass. And it's like there's always something that comes up that's relative to like fabrics and treatments and like beading or like trims, and it's like there's always things that come from to me from nature. It's like, or even the beach, like going to the beach and feeling your hands in the sand. It's like those things I think inspire me, but I think everybody kind of finds their own way and finds their own path. I think it's like if you continue to look for it and you continue to like be open to inspiration, that's how it comes.
Okay. And for you, what is it to be a designer?
Oh, good question. For me, actually, I know that the scope of my interests are quite vast. So it's like I have interests like in painting and drawing and photography, in graphic design, lately graphic design, and then like always such a warm heart in my place for fashion. Obviously, I think being a designer for me is being aware of aesthetic. I think that comes first. It's like you always have a way of seeing. You always have a vision, and it translates no matter what you do. So whether I'm drawing or painting or making clothes or creating graphic designs or taking photos, there's always a thread that you can see that I think you always see me in the designs. And I think having a voice is definitely being a designer, being able to express yourself in a certain way.
Thank you. And I wanted to ask such a question. In your life, was there some unexpected situation, for example, in fashion weeks or whenever, and how did you cope with it?
I think that is a really good question, because things are going to come your way that are not going to be easy, that are going to be very difficult. And yes, I had a big one. I actually, when I first graduated high school, I started studying fashion in London. And at the time, I was there for 2 years, and towards the end of the second year, I understood that there was just financial difficulties happening at home, and so I was very much so aware more and more that it might not be a possibility that I would return. Being able to let go and being able to know how to change and adapt to my environment is probably the biggest lesson that I've learned so far. Because I remember getting off the plane and feeling so empty. Like it's like I felt like I had lost everything. I felt like I had lost all my friends, like the place where I'd lived, like all of my clothes, some of my artwork, like things that were mine for 2 years, things that I was able to develop, and to let it all go in one day, just let it all go. It was hard, but I think from that moment on, nothing could hurt me that much. If I lost something or if something went wrong, it's like you take a breath, you take a moment, you mourn it, you do whatever you need, but you don't let anything like that affect you more than it has to, and you move on, and you're only stronger after that. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned. And I think you realize that the important things will always be there. So I didn't actually lose all my friends. Like, I lost possessions, I lost like inanimate objects, but my friends I was still in contact with, and like I recently visited London, and I was able to see them again, and it was almost as no time had passed. So it's like you know that the important things will always be there, and the important things you'll still be able to hold on to. It's, I think, being able to let go of the things that aren't so important. And my mom always says it's like, when it's very, very difficult, sometimes it's not for you. When it comes easy, like those are the things that you realize unfold in the way that you need them to. And so I think I've always learned now, it's having a good coping mechanism is important for me to stay strong.
So for you, what are the important things in others? What qualities attract you?
I think I'm a very open person myself. I enjoy other people's personalities. I enjoy like hanging out. I think any negative attitudes towards things, I think once I learned like being able to develop and being able to lose things and like find new things is a good quality in myself. When I think I look for that in others. So I tend to look for people who have positive attitudes, people who are working towards what they want. There's a saying where it's like, you surround yourself by the people you want to be. And so now I think that's 100% true. Like back in New York, I have a friend who works in an architecture firm who's vastly moving very ahead. I have a friend who's in graphic design who was the creative director assistant and moved on to a bigger company and is now doing more things. I have a friend who works also in the fashion industry who took a while to find her footing but now works at an amazing company. It's like you surround yourself with these people who continue to grow and you grow because you do what they do. You see someone fighting for what they want and you fight for what you want and you all kind of grow together. So those are definitely the people that I surround myself now and always people who I look for in the future.
So today you're here on campus of
Yeah.
Far Eastern Federal University. So you're here first time. So how do you like our campus and university?
Well, it was quite a great impression. I walked in and saw this view, and I was amazed. I was blown away. It was actually funny because there was people sitting on or cleaning the windows, so I saw them rappelling off the windows. But the view of the bridge is amazing, and I was actually today's the first sunny day that I got to enjoy. Like,
Exactly.
so we rode through the city, and I was like, wow, it's beautiful. Like some of the colors in the buildings, and like you have such amazing views of the water. It's always something that I'm attracted to. It's like I'm open to nature. And I'm also like from Miami, so I'm always looking for water wherever I go. So, I mean, it was a great impression. It's
I
beautiful.
hope it will give you some more inspiration for new collections and
Yes,
projects.
we're actually heading right over there. And we're going to do an impromptu fashion show and then a photo shoot. So.
Today, right?
Yes.
The models from FEFU University will wear your Persephone collection. That's great. So, what are your plans after you leave Vladivostok?
Well, I think it's being able to speak to other designers, being able to speak to professionals in the city. It's only making me want to move forward within my own designs, and thinking about that and being able to have a wide audience. I think now being able to travel to different countries and talking to different people, I only now want my designs to be known by more people and be able to like have a bigger scope of like media connections. So I think that's something that I might want to be working on, putting together more collections and working on new work.
Okay, I think that is it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for interview. It
Thank
was
you,
nice
yes.
talking to you. А мы с вами прощаемся. Увидимся скоро. Желаю всем удачной сессии. Ну а чтобы узнать о других коллекциях Элиаса Гурролы, ищите его в Гугле или же смотрите и читайте его блог Elias Gurrola blogspot.com. До свидания.